go away to become men. And there's a reason, because when life comes at us, we're not going to have an opportunity to run to mama. It's not out for that. That's why our graduation rate is only 41% short of Mecklenburg school systems. We have to let our young men grow up. We have to let them go through adversities and trials. We can't protect them from the world, because the world is not going to be nice to them unless they have a foundation that they know that they can go to college, not have a felony on their record, and be successful. This program was not intended to be easy. Anything worth having is not easy. It gives you more pride about yourself and what you've accomplished when you go through trials and tribulations. That first group went through. They walked 4 and 5 miles every time we went on a field trip in the blazing sun. I was ripping them up and down, right or wrong. Do y'all love me? And that's why I'm not going to stop doing what I do, because they know I love them. And that's the main thing that counts. That's the only thing I'm really concerned about. When Africans go through their rite of passage, if they don't come through the rites of passage, they are shunned by their village. They are not allowed to marry. And these are some tribes, not all of Africa as a continent, but there are certain parts in Africa that have rites of passage. They are shunned by their village, and they would not be allowed to marry. They would not be allowed to do certain things because they're pictured as being weak. I don't want a whole bunch of weak young men running around for fear. I want strong young men to go out here and be productive citizens. That's why we have a 100% graduation rate as we speak. I have a message for the mothers and the men. Don't take this personally. Susan and I have talked about this. There are 3 famous words we have heard my son said. Let me tell you something about what your son said. What your son says is one side of the story. There are always 2 sides of the story, or maybe 3. When your son tells you something, make sure you find out the other side as well. Because a lot of times there are pieces missing or added to. Young males are manipulative. I was. That's what we do, and we learn how to manipulate our mothers at an early age. And father is a bad guy, my dad was a bad guy, but as you get older, you will understand. It's not about you understanding now, it's about you doing what we ask for you to do. So if you have a mentorship program or a mentor or a male in your life that you trust with your son, let him discipline your son and back up. I'm not saying that you should be behind a man. What I'm saying is there's a difference between raising a male and raising a female. Think about this. Don't look at instant gratification. Don't look at right now. Look at the big picture. Would you rather your son be happy now and get his way and be taught that he's going to be protected from the world? Or would you rather for him to go through some trials and tribulations now, and then when he's faced with those adversities later on in life, he's like, okay, now what? What's next? All right. That's where I'm at. That's what I want for you all. That's why all the time some of you all were playing and acting. We don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. Not because I don't care, and as I told you, when I quit fussing at you, that's when the problem occurs, not when I'm fussing at you. It's when we stop. That's a Coach Walker-ism also. The mission of VID00022 is to prepare young black males to be successful in life. So when they come back, they'll be looking like these young men off in college, working, doing productive things instead of with orange jumpsuits on. In the week, like I said, everybody did not make it, so I want to congratulate you all for making it through this process. It was not easy. To the men, our generation of black males has dropped the ball. We have not taken our rightful positions as leaders in the community. We have fathered babies, many of us, and have not taken care of our responsibilities. We look at images on TV and we see our black boys doing things that are wrong, and we're talking, but what are you doing? You don't have to have a mentorship program to mentor a black male. Only thing you have to do is mentor one child at a time. That's how we change the world, one child at a time. So if we can find it in our schedules to do what we do, everybody in here can mentor one child and change the world. That was my closing remarks. So I guess I have to flip it and do the next one, but I do want to do this for this section, and then my closing remarks will be about 2 or 3 minutes and we're done. I want to make sure I thank everybody that has helped us this summer. Albert Carter, our lead teacher. I could not do what they did. I don't do young people. I love y'all. But that's not my passion. My passion, let me say, I'm not gonna say it's not my passion, but that's not my strength. I want to get cussed out a little bit so I can deal with that. So thank you, gentlemen, for what y'all done. Y'all did an excellent job. Thank you. Mr. Stan Frazier, will you stand up, please? Mr. Frazier did our Black History component for 2 or 3 weeks for the junior division. He was not able to stay on because of financial situations with the ELMP, but we appreciate you taking time out to do what you did. Dr. Frazier, thank you. This board is Gerard Bridges are not here, but Gerard Bridges was our former assistant program administrator. He has gotten promotion at his job. He is now the dean of students at Sugar Creek Charter School. So but Chris Porter stepped in and took over as assistant program manager. So I definitely want to thank those 2 gentlemen for doing what they did for the ELMP. I also want to thank Coach Hicks, which Susan has already mentioned. He provided the lawn care service. He's also drove the kids back and forth. And I had to do that for 2 days. I didn't want to do that the whole time. I don't know how you did it, though. That's all too. I also want to say thank you to Victor Edwards, Nigel Harris, Nick McGee, and Chad Club. If y'all will stand up, please. Without putting all our business out there, because of financial situations this summer, those gentlemen were selected as peer leaders, paid positions, but with the finances the way that they were, I had to sit them down and talk to them and let them know that we can no longer afford to keep them. And the funny thing about it is that they both took it as men. They didn't stomp their feet, they didn't complain, they didn't poke their mouth out. Victor was cracking jokes. So the point I'm making is that they have definitely showed true leadership in the way that they handled that situation. But I want you all to know from the ELMP team that we appreciate the services that you all provided. Okay, so we have testimonials now. So do we have particular people? Are you going to do it? Do you want me to do it?
You could do it, Brian.
Okay. Just anybody?
We had a volunteer, Alan Horn.
I know Horn's going to talk. He's always talking.
Alan wanted to come up. Mr. Horn? Okay.
Perez, he's never at a loss for it. If y'all want to give a testimony,
Yeah, come on down, because we're on the time. Alan Horn.
Disco, where you at? Come on down.